Hello and welcome to my place. This is where I live together with my family. It's a rather big cabin, but we only live on 15 square meters. The rest of it is a barn. And this place is something that is called fäbod in Sweden. A fäbod is a place where you take your animals in the summertime because you want to save the winter feed around the village. So you take all your animals to the forest and a cabin like this, and you stay there all summer. So the room that we live in are the same room that the caretaker of the animals lived in. The first space here is what we call farstu. It's an ongoing debate on this channel what the best English word for our farstu is. We don't think that any of the English words are a really good translation for the word farstu, but the suggestions we have got is Arctic entry, mudroom, foyer, vestibule, and so on. We use our farstu as a storage, but also in wintertime we can use it as a freezer, so it's really handy. Come inside and take a look at our cabin. So this is our hallway. During our years here we have put in more and more stuff and furniture, so I guess we are at our limit now. We made a simple hook from a tree. Can't see it now, but like that. So it's made from half a tree and the branches still left, so it's really good to hang your jackets on. Down here we have the cat door, so they can freely walk in and out as they please. That's really good, so we don't have to let them in and out, but of course they prefer the big door, so we do that anyway. This little bureau I bought on an auction, and we just placed it here this autumn, and it has been really good so far. So we have all our hats and mittens and Ivar's all outdoor clothing, so they are also stuffed with clothing. This door is from the late 1700s, guessing. But we have a friend that is really good on those things, so I think he's right. But the colors and how it's made and everything. But we have a problem. It is a bit skewed, so it has some holes here, and the frame isn't straight either, so we have some holes around it, so it really cold draft from it. So we are going to fix it somehow, but so far we have made a woolen cover that we put in front of the door when it's colder outside. It works okay. We moved here in August 2012, and when we came here we had to fix some things. So we changed the bottom logs and we have to lift the house up a little bit. And we also changed the floor, so the floors are completely new. We painted the walls and also the ceiling, because it was really dark in here. Like I said before, this is a fäbod, and usually they have cellars, earth cellars to store things in, but we didn't have it here because it's so close to the village, so they took all the milk and everything up to the village instead. So we are now building one, but it takes some time, but eventually we are having one. Until that one is ready, we have 2 holes in the ground outside here, and it works really good. This bureau I also found on a flea market, a real find. As you can hear, I'm really fond of my old furniture. It's a great interest of mine. But here we have a lot of small stuff also, but some toiletries and the toothbrushes. I try to keep it organized, but yeah. For now we have Ivar's clothing here, and then I have towels and some of our clothing and curtains and tablecloths and stuff like that. In this drawer I have things to make my salves and creams. We have strings and we have tape and all the stuff you may need. You know the drawer where you put everything you don't know where to put? That's the one. And in this one we have some equipment for our filming work. I have some photos here This is my grandpa on my mother's side, and this is my grandma on my mother's side, and my grandma and my mother and my mother. I have never met my grandpa, so it's nice to have some pictures of him. My grandma is now 85 years old, and she is still healthy and happy. Every morning we boil water, so we have 2 big thermoses with hot water if we want to drink some tea or need it for something else. And we do that so we don't have to light a fire and wait for it to boil and everything. Now we have it just ready to go if we want it. We are tea drinkers, no coffee in this house. So these teas are from our favorite shop in the nearest town. We don't have any electricity wired up in this cabin, and we are not connected to any grid. So we use a lot of these candles, and we also have this kerosene lamp that we use a lot above the dinner table. This is a new kerosene lamp that we bought when we moved in, but we have also found a lot of these lamps secondhand. So we have some more that we are going to use in the new cabin. And our headlamps are a really important tool for us, especially in the winter when we need to go outside and it's really dark. We have some batteries and a small solar panels that we charge our things with, but in the winter it doesn't work that good because there isn't that much sun. So we need to find a better solution for that in the future. The only electricity we need really is for charging all these things we have for running this YouTube channel. Welcome to our kitchen, only a step away. This is where we do all our cooking. Right now we have our long feel standing here, brewing. We made it last night, and then we just take some of the old long feel and put new milk on it. And it's a kind of buttermilk that had a very stretchy consistency, and that we eat for breakfast every morning. So this evening I'm gonna put it down in the cold when it's ready. So here we have everything we need for our meals. Good knives, good cutting boards, cups, plates, glasses, spices. We also have tea on bags. This is stuff I use in my breakfast. Cinnamon, coconut, ginger powder. We have some digital thermometers, very good tools if you need to check your meat or check your tea temperature. Cutlery. And this used to be a messy cupboard, but since we got this ugly thing for the knives, and it got more organized. But mostly we have tools in wood or metal, and we try to avoid plastic as far as we can. Maybe this also is a drawer for stuff we don't know where to put, but at least we have some batteries and matches and stuff like that in here. In wintertime we use this as a fridge, and in summer when we can move all the food outside to our hole in the ground, we can have other stuff in here. So up here I try to have dry stuff like spices and teas, and down here where it's a bit colder we have the butter and eggs. We eat a lot of butter and egg. Cheese. It keeps cold in here because we don't have constant heating in the house, so it's a bit colder down at the floor level. So it's a really good fridge. It's keep about 8 to 10 plus degrees. So almost all our food fits in here. One of the most important things here, the water. Here we have a bucket of water so that we fetch almost every day, so we have fresh water. We fetch it from the stream in these buckets. We have 2 of them, so we can always have one that is filled. In the summertime we have our outdoor kitchen, so we can do our dishes outside, and that's really nice. In the wintertime it's too cold, and then we have a big bucket that we have here on the kitchen table, and we have a bucket to rinse the dishes in, and then just put it on a tablecloth on the other bench. It works really well, but it would be so nice with a real kitchen sink inside here. But since we are working on a little bit bigger cabin just beside here, we don't feel it's necessary to put down a lot of work in this cabin, since we are going to move someday. And it works really good as it is. The little wood stove. We had a bigger one before, but it had only a small hole for the fire, so it took hours to get it warm in here. But this one has a really big fire, and that's really good. So maybe half an hour and it's really warm and toasty in here. We can keep our clothes here, and they are warm and nice. We also have a big pot of water that we often have on the stove, so we always have warm water for dishes. We have 2 of these, our tea water boilers that we'll fill the thermoses with later. Not so good looking shelf, but it works really good. We can put gloves and hats up in here if they're wet, and they dry really fast. Also have some string and nails down here so we can hang things to dry. I like to pick a lot of wild herbs and plants, so we have put up drying frames in the roof, so they are drying really fast because it's kind of warm in the ceiling. It can be a bit difficult to take the frames up and down, but it's really nice to have them out of the way. I said water was one of the important things, and firewood is equally important. We have our wood store out in the barn, so we try to keep this filled all the time, so we just can put a fire in the stove. We also have a bucket of these smaller sticks, so it's easy to light the fire. And when the firewood have birch bark, we collect it and have it in a bag behind here, so that makes it so easy to light the fire. We also have a bucket for compost. Almost all of our pots and pans that are stainless steel we have bought secondhand, so we are always in the lookout for them because they are really handy and we like them. We try to avoid plastic as much as possible, so we always search for the stainless steel or the glass things. My plan is to make a lot of more cheese, since I am an educated artisan cheesemaker, and then we're going to need a lot of pots and pans for that too. I really love our bedroom. It's so cozy. It's a bit dark here because it's only a small window, but we have our small lights. We built this bed for Ivar, but he hasn't slept in it a minute. We only use it to change his diapers. He sleeps with us in here. It's only a 120 bed, so it's a bit cramped, but so far it works. It has also been really good because when he sleeps on the outside of me, I don't have to worry that he's gonna fall off the bed. So it's a secure thing. I use cloth nappies for Ivar, so I fold them in beforehand and have them here. Up here I'm not gonna show you because it's so cramped with stuff, but we have bed covers and sheepskins and our clothing, more clothes for Ivar, board games, everything you can imagine fits up here. We get more and more books, so in the beginning we only have books in the dining room, but now we also have in the bedroom. More shelves. So a lot of books and clothing in these baskets that Ivar is using right now. And if we take a look under the bed, so we share this cabin with 2 dogs, 2 cats, and we're 3 people. This cabin wasn't intended for winter use, so during our years here we have put strings of sheets in some places between the logs to fill up some small gaps. The windows were also single windows, so only 1 sheet of glass. We bought some special extra second layer and put on, and that was really good because the first winter was really cold. So there is none extra insulation in these walls, only the 15 centimeter of log. And that would be enough if it was built correctly, but this cabin has been moved a lot, so it's kind of a puzzle in some places. And because it was only intended for the summer use, they weren't that precise when they put it up again. In the floor and on top of the inner roof, we have a lot of shavings, wood shavings, so that insulates very well. This is the cupboard where I keep almost all of our toiletries and some things for the kitchen. And candles. So tea lights, soap, toilet paper, dishwashing liquid, napkins, stuff like that. And this is me and my sister. She lives about 100 kilometers from here, so we see each other quite often. And lastly, our library and dining room, and also the area for washing our hands. In wintertime we have this inside, but so it's more cramped wintertime. Summertime we can take these things out and have them outside. These books are about handicrafts and arts. Here we have about homesteading and gardening, politics. Down here we have about cooking and fermenting, and animal books about dogs, cats, horses, some ethnobiology, clinging and carrying children, regenerative agriculture, more cooking books, magazines. These are about yoga, feng shui, colors, meditation, and these are about ethnobiology, the Sami people, about fäbodar, the thing we live in from the past. Some biographies and how to write, about children, and up here we have novels. So all of this shelf is fantasy and sci-fi, and here are other stuff. But we do love our fantasy, and our favorite authors is Joe Abercrombie, Patrick Rothfuss, Michael J. Sullivan, Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. So those are the ones we enjoy reading the most. Our art wall from different places and people. This is from a photograph that Mathias took. So someone saw it on Instagram and painted it and sent it to us. And my sister has painted this one. So yeah, some different things that we like. This is a very obscure piece of art. So if you know who this is, you are one of very few. And on this side, on this shelf, we have our paperworks and children's books. Yeah, and other things. So you can see we have a lot of shelves, and we started with the one we have all our plates on, and then we got this one for, it was supposed to be a shelf for putting all our fermentings on, but yeah, now we have other stuff there. And then we built on the bookcase, and we built it on one more time, and we did this one, and then we had 2 shelves into the bedroom, so it starts to be very cramped in here. Something we have heard a lot since we moved here is it works now, but wait until you get children. Then it will be very difficult. But I must say it works really well, and we haven't encountered any problem that we haven't been able to solve. So we're still here. So I guess now we will wait until they get older. So we will see. So our dining room / living room / working space. We spend a lot of time in this corner. We eat our meals, make our videos. We have a 10-year diary in the window there that we write in every day so we can see what's happened from year to year. And yeah, it's a really nice space to be in. And Frasse likes the sofa here. We often get the question why we live like this, and it's quite a hard question to answer. We need to write a standard answer that we can give. But some of the answers is because of the resiliency. We want to be able to fix things by ourselves, and if we want to, we can pour out the water and lock the cabin and be away for a couple of weeks, and it won't freeze and break something. Another reason is our quest to find out what is truly sustainable, and also the possibility to just walk out the door and into the forest and truly be a part of the forest and the nature around us. So now you have seen every nook and cranny of this place, and I hope you enjoyed the tour. So the space we live... Jag kan inte säga det. Vegetables. A basket with vegetables. It's 2. Ja, jag vet inte om jag vet. Ja, okej. So that insulates. In summertime we have stuff in here because it's...
Va? In summertime we have stuff in here.
Okej, ja, vi börjar om.